All that scratching is making me itch.
Yeah, you got to have a body cam when you go out, especially a person like me, um, because you never know what could happen out there. And I usually keep body cams, especially when I'm going to an event that basically is going to have police there. And, how can I say this? The police don't know law, okay? They're law enforcers. And a lot of them, you will see the ignorance of a policeman. All they know is basic arrest. That's why it's very important that I say on my shows and podcasts that, as an American, as a citizen, at least know your basic rights. And when encountering law enforcement, the one right you should automatically uphold at all times is the right to remain silent, because the Supreme Court have given law enforcement officials the power to lie, to get suspects to incriminate themselves. So that's the number one thing people should always remember. But to your question, do I get scared sometimes? Yeah. I get scared sometimes going out here, but it's so sad that I can go overseas and fight for this country. And then I come back here and I have to be afraid of the very people whose rights I was defending. It's just a sad, sad commentary. But, I guess that's just the way it is. I'm not going to sit here and bitch and moan about it. That's just how people are. You've got people out here who are actually doing the work. And those people are constantly putting themselves on the line for the greater good of their communities. And unfortunately, in our community, in the community of Black people, there are what we call Stevens. If you've seen the movie Django, we have a lot of Stevens. And they're going to always defend white supremacy. And they're always going to talk white supremacy talking points. If you guys saw recently, I was talking about the SoFi Stadium and the economics of what was going on with SoFi Stadium, because what's happening there has been happening in my city for over 10 years. And I always tell people time and time again, the biggest FBI bribe in FBI history happened in my city of an elected official, $2.3 million. And, I witnessed that going down. And the person who did that only spent 5 years, because it's funny when these people get caught, they automatically have health problems. And, and it was his first official caught offense and all this other stuff. But in my city, they're trying to build the world's biggest warehouse. It's called the World Logistics Center. And if you guys Google it, you guys will be able to find that. So the difference between that football stadium and what they're trying to build here in my city, I believe, if I remember it right, do not quote me, the World Logistics Center is supposed to be the size of 70 football fields, maybe 700. Add another zero on that. But I know it's supposed to be huge, huge. And the developer says all this stuff is going to happen. We had a Skechers that came here, and it was supposed to bring 2,500 jobs. It only brought 400 jobs. And the people that live in my city didn't even get those jobs because a lot of the people had transferred over. And so I don't mind getting in a discussion with people in regards to topics, but know what you're talking about. Because you got to ask yourself this. Would I or anybody else be ringing these alarms if we don't know what we're talking about? So I had a friend of mine was telling me about subsidies. And he was saying subsidy, in regards to the SoFi Stadium, he was saying that the oligarch, the super rich owner of that stadium, did not use any tax dollars. And that's a bold-faced lie. That is a bold-faced lie. And in his own statement, he said that tax breaks were given. Well, what are tax breaks? Subsidies. And then he doubled and tripled down on it as if he's the developer. I've seen this playbook, and a lot of us have, over and over again, especially if you live in a community that has been used and abused by these developers. We're going to bring all these jobs and we're going to do all this at the expense of what? In my city, we have warehouses all over the place. So what was the cost? The air. California air is bad enough as it is. The diesel particulates of all these diesel trucks running around, semi-trucks, tearing up the roads. So more taxpayer dollars have to go to repair the roads rather than going into school lunch programs, building new schools, and bettering the community. Building parks and things that help the community. Our tax dollars are going for the benefit of a developer. So he doubled and tripled down on it. And then when I went and got the literal definition of subsidies, he still, his own word, I didn't bring up subsidy or tax break, he did. And he still wouldn't see for himself what he was saying. But they're first to tell a person like me, I don't know what we're talking about. What I don't understand is this. Whenever I post stuff on my page, I do not go out of my way to post stuff on other people's pages. I do not force my ideology down other people's throats. But I have to laugh because, like I tell everybody all the time, this is my page, and I'm going to post what the fuck I want to post on my page. And if you have a problem with it, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm not going to back down. I consider myself fairly intelligent. I mean, I have, 11, 13, 15, I don't know how many degrees I got. Doesn't mean I'm an expert, but I wouldn't be talking about stuff if I wasn't correct. And another thing is I got some friends, and it's funny. It's super funny to me. They haven't been right yet. They haven't been right yet. And so I go and I get a video from the Young Turks that basically says exactly what I was saying. What is the cost of SoFi Stadium? People's properties were gentrified out of there, and properties were public domained. Now, it might not be a problem to you because it ain't your property, right? It ain't your problem. But what about those families there? Yes, I didn't say that there were some families that did not benefit from a stadium being there with the property values going up. It even said that in the video. But my question as a black person is this. And again, let me explain when I use colorism as an example, okay? It is a fact white people, or people that identify themselves as white, are 11 times more wealthy than black people, okay? You have brown people, which would be considered Latinos, Hispanics, whatever. They're all grouped into their thing. Then you have the Asians, Pacific, and all that other stuff, right? But I'm a black man, so I have to do that, and I have to ring the alarm. So this person is telling me, everything is there, and yet they're telling me, oh, well, why don't you do this and do that? Or wait, let me be more accurate. He asked me, why don't I have a solution? I'm always pointing out the problems, but I never give solutions. And I had to laugh. And like I said, I love him to death. Family and friends, you're not always going to agree, and that's fine. I don't have a problem debating anybody because I took debate. Okay, I took speech. I love to get in it because I'm one of those people. I'm not going to talk about stuff I don't know. If you talked about me with aeronautics, there's nothing in aeronautics you can tell me. That is my expertise. That's what I know. I'm good at history. I know history. But I'm not going to go into a specific field I know nothing about. So he said, I never come up with a solution. I had to laugh at that. What have I been saying is the solution? Reparations. It is the only way Black people are going to dig themselves out of this problem. And I have to laugh because obviously a lot of people out there are not paying attention to what is going on around them, and especially in our community. There are a lot of people that are, people that I've met on the internet that watch the show and follow us and stuff. They get it. But there's a lot of people that don't get it. Here's my question. Forget the stadium. Forget the gazillionaires that all attended inside the stadium. Paid attendees. Why isn't anybody interested in why are these stadiums being built in poor areas, displacing Black and brown people? Why isn't anybody thinking about that? If I'm a rich person and I live in a rich neighborhood, why do I have to drive 13 miles away from where I live or my community to go into a gentrified community where people were living and set up a stadium so I can see my gladiators perform? Why isn't anybody noticing that? Out of all the places you had to put this stadium, you displaced all of these Black families. And that's what I'm talking about. So when I talk reparations, I'm saying that if Black people were economically as wealthy as other groups here in the United States, would that stadium have been put there? I don't think so, because in a class action lawsuit, you have the resources and the money to buy the lawyers to fight the development. When you don't have that, you really can't fight much. And then, even if you do put a stadium there, you can't make some of the people there that live in the area have access to the stadium by making the tickets reasonable. But that tells you another thing. If the people who live right there near the stadium can't afford a ticket to a game, what does that tell you? It's just funny. But I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to continue to post what I want to post. This is my page. You don't have to come here. You don't have to come here. You can go other places. I've been doing this for years. This is nothing new. You guys, a lot of people out there know what I've been doing for years. And I just happen to see that if you come to Southern California, there's not many Black people left here. They're just not. Our Black legislators aren't doing a damn thing for us. And this is why I ring the alarm. And I ring the alarm like this because there's going to come a day where I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to walk away in good conscience. And I'm going to be in good conscience because I did everything I possibly could to warn my people. I had another friend that called me one day, and he was like, "Hey man, you're always talking about Black this, Black that, and all the Black pride stuff. Where's the brown pride? I don't see you talking about other groups." Why would I be talking about other groups? I'm a Black man. I have to take care of mine before I worry about anybody else. That's common sense. Then let's reverse it. When was the last time you saw a Hispanic speak up for Black people? Even on the national level in politics, point out one Hispanic politician that is standing up for Black rights and Black issues. Name me an Asian that's doing that. Name me a white person that's doing that. So I think I answered that question right there with that. And that's human nature. I don't expect a Hispanic to speak up for me. The Asian community just got a bill that makes them a protected class. I didn't hear any of my Asian friends talk about, wow, that's not right. Wow, that's, oh, wow, you guys have been, trying to get fair treatment for over 400 years. And on our first try, we got it. Wow, that's messed up. And I don't expect them to have to apologize. Self-preservation. And that's what I'm trying to teach my people. You got to take care of us first before you worry about these other groups. The problem is, and this is what I'm trying to show my people, the problem with the CBC and all these black bootlicks. Go to the CBC's website and they tell you they don't represent black people. They represent everybody. And a lot of people don't know that. And that's why groups like me, we ring the alarm on that. So, I'm very sure Martin Luther King wanted to quit, but he kept going. I'm very sure Malcolm X, he wanted to quit, but he kept going. Goddamn, Bobby Seale said, hell, I'm a Panther, but I got to go where the money's at. John Lewis said, damn, I'm out here getting my ass whooped for these black folks. I'm going to go get me a bag. I don't think I'll get that extreme, but I can see why a lot of our black leadership just say, fuck it. We have no unity. We're constantly having these Stevens all around fighting. Now, because my thing is this, everybody fights in their own way. And I have to laugh because people come on my page and listen to this. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work that you could benefit off of. I and others, we're doing the work. Where's your activism for black people on your page? That's what I want to know. Where's your activism? So, and I'm not saying you have to be into that, but how are you going to try to come down here and shut me down and argue with me? It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your time. I'm out here doing the work. What are you doing? And that's the problem with black people. The basket mentality is real. It's a real thing. But before you point your fingers at me and other people who are out here doing the work, spreading the message, ringing the alarm, ask yourself, let's look at your page. What are you doing to help the black community if you identify as a black person? What are you doing? If you ain't doing anything, I don't think you should say anything. That's just my opinion. At least not on activist page, people that are out there doing the work. Because a lot of you guys haven't been right yet. Vote blue no matter who. Oh, Joe Biden's going to do this. Oh, we get Kamala in there. She going to do that. Y'all haven't been right yet. And even though I'm talking truth to you guys right now, some of you guys are going to get mad. I don't give a damn. Get mad. You need to get mad. Because the only reason you would get mad is because you know I'm telling the truth. And that's the only reason. Because you know it's the truth. I'm doing the work that you could benefit from. Your grandkids could benefit from. Your kid, whatever. I'm ringing the alarm because a lot of people weren't paying attention, and I was one of them. But there is going to come a day where I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to be sitting in the Dominican Republic or Australia somewhere, drinking my Mai Tais as the black race in America is made into a permanent underclass of servitude. And we told you. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, not all of us. I'm not into all of us. 30% of black people, as I've always said, are doing very well. 30% of the 14% of the American population, of the black population, is doing damn well. It's the 70% that's failing. And I'm speaking for the 70%. Because I happen to know if the 70% are eradicated, it's only going to be a matter of time before they round up the 30%. Then what? We need everybody on deck. We need everybody on deck. That's how I feel about it. And we've got to help them. We've got to speak out. The biggest source of wealth in the United States is home ownership. A rich oligarch just used the laws in his favor to put a stadium and displace hundreds of black families. Everybody says, I don't know how all this stuff works and this, that. I do know how it works because it's still going on in my community for 10 years. I do know how it works. They promise this is what's going to happen, that's going to happen. Do you know that the developer in my city has spent approximately a little over $3 million for a $16 million reimbursement from the city? We put in the streets to his property. We put in the sewers to his property. We put in the street lights to his property. We put in the sidewalks to his property. What does that do to his property? It gains value. No different than what this stadium owner did. If the stadium owner was subsidized by the taxpayer by being given tax breaks, that's money that isn't going to go repair our streets. It isn't going to go to school lunch programs. It isn't going to go to better schools or subsidies for better education for our kids, vocational schools, vouchers, that kind of stuff. Dwight Eisenhower said before he left office in 1960, I believe, just before he left office, that every dollar spent unnecessarily in the Defense Department is money that has been stolen out of the mouths of children. Think about that. That's what he's saying. We're using all this money for defense and stuff, but yet we don't have money to pay for bridges. We don't have money to pay for infrastructure. We don't have money to better do our social safety net. That's what he was talking about. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm not going to stop with that. But again, my page, my problem. If you don't like what you see here, just like if you came to my house or I came to your house, what you see here stays here. Okay? And I got a lot of you guys. Thank you guys sending me messages for, you didn't know this, you didn't know that, whatever. That's great. When you know better, you do better. I know better, so now I'm going to do better. I'm not going to be silent. I'm going to always put this stuff out there. And I'm going to be B1 first, black first, because I'm a black man. I don't hate on Asians. I don't hate on Hispanics. Matter of fact, I'm good friends with the majority leader here in California who is a Hispanic lady. She's the number one majority leader, Democrat, in the state of California, and I helped get her elected. And if she ever came to me and said, oh, Donovan, blah, 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 and I asked her, where's your black agenda? And she said, I ain't got one. I'm not going to get mad at that. You ain't supposed to have one. It's human nature. She's going to take care of her people first and everybody else later. Not saying that she's doing that. That ain't what I'm saying. But, I know it's hard for you guys to believe, but black leadership and servants, they don't represent black people. And that's just a fact. You guys haven't been right yet. Just saying. So let me say this for the 18th, 20th, 30th time. This is my page. If you don't like what I post here, stop coming here. I do not want to argue with you. I don't. There's no point in arguing. None. Trickle-Down Economics. I had a friend that tried to use that analogy. Well, this is how it works. The developer said, the newspaper said this. I can show you on a newspaper where the developer said the same thing in my city. Said the almost the exact same thing of what was going to happen and what he was going to pay and what he was going to put in didn't happen. So let's talk about trickle-down economics, right? It has been proven over and over again, trickle-down economics in actuality does not work. But yet they sell that every time. You got to give the wealthy tax breaks. And then from the tax breaks, then they create jobs. You guys remember that? Where are the jobs? Before the pandemic, where were the jobs? But you're giving all these people tax breaks. So there's a difference between fantasy and reality. A lot of you guys live in fantasy. And I'm trying to break your glass ceiling so you can see reality. You know what I mean? Reality, what's really going on, what they're really doing to you. That's what I and other groups are trying to do. I'm going to be okay. I don't have to do this. But I'm smart enough to know that if I don't raise my voice and speak up for those that aren't as blessed as I am, it's only going to be a matter of time before they come after me. So anyway, I'm Donovan Sadiq. That's pretty much my spill on that. And yeah, that's what's going on. Some of you guys need to do like I did. Get into recovery. That's why I'm known as the recovering Democrat. Because I just was a Democrat and didn't care. And then I realized these people are doing jack shit nothing. Zero. And I prove it time and time again. And a lot of you Stevens out there don't like it. There's a saying, how could you be this dumb and Google is for free? Think about it.